You're going to get a lot of theory questions about the elements of accounting, which can be quite difficult to answer. So we're going to adopt a similar structure that we use to answer the theory questions. So first thing we're going to do is identify which element the transaction is. Next, we'll define the criteria of that element, and lastly we'll relate each of those criteria to the question or case study you've been given. So using an example, on the 31st of December 2015, a business paid $30,000 for rent covering 2016, 17 and 18. With reference to the SAC 2 definition of the elements of accounting, explain how this transaction would be treated in the firm's records. So remember that the SAC 2 definition just refers to the elements of accounting, and the elements of accounting refers to assets, liabilities, owner's equity, revenues and expenses. So in this case, the $30,000 has actually been prepaid for the next 3 years, so we'll actually identify that as an asset. We'll now define it, and the slight difference with the theory questions will now relate at the same time. In this instance, the first criteria of an asset is there must be a resource controlled by the entity. Rather than finishing this sentence, I'm actually going to relate it at the same time. So I will state that as the firm now legally controls the property for 2016, 17 and 18. So together, the define and relate are one sentence. The second criteria of an asset is there was a past event or transaction. In this case, this occurred when the firm paid $30,000 for rent for the next 3 years. And lastly, the asset must provide future economic benefits which will flow to the business. In this case, that will be the firm being able to occupy the premises for 3 years. So again, like we did with theory questions, we're going to set this out in a little box and lines like we will on our SACs and on our exams. So what we'll do is take the previous structure on the slide to actually transform it into something that we can put in a blank set of lines. So there is my identify, the business has an asset. Here is my define, there is a resource controlled, and then I've related it to this question. There's my past event, which I've related, and my future economic benefits, which I've also related. So just answering it in a coherent sentence or series of sentences which will fill out the space provided.